This is the question we've been asking all morning. Is Facebook making you sad? Do you look at your friends' status updates and pictures and think their lives are much better than yours? New research out of Stanford University says we often compare ourselves to other people and think they are leading more fulfilling and happy lives. And while that may not be exactly a new phenomenon, social media may be making it worse.
Sometimes I feel jealous, like when people post pictures on their on vacation and status updates.
Yeah, I feel a little bit of jealous of his ski vacation.
It is a daily dose of distorted reality for many of us, logging on to social networking sites and seeing our friends seemingly leading glamorous lives.
I mean, I'll feel a little jealous if I see that someone is going to a show or something while I'm stuck doing an essay.
So how does that make us feel? A PhD student at Stanford University noticed it was making his friends feel worse, like their lives weren't measuring up. So he did a study asking, how happy do we think our friends are, and are we right? He and his fellow researchers asked college freshmen to estimate how many positive and negative experiences they think their friends are having. The college freshmen overestimated just how great their friends' lives were. And in a separate study, they then found that the more people overestimated how happy their friends were, the more upset they were about their own lives.
It would be nice if I see someone on vacation, I think. Maybe I should go on a vacation.
Joining me now to talk more about this is Dr. Janet Taylor, who's a psychiatrist here in New York. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
So as I said, this is not new. We have cliches like the grass is always greener, keeping up with the Joneses, and there's this great quote from the journalist H.L. Mencken who says, a wealthy man is one who earns $100 more than his wife's sister's husband. So if this isn't new, is it possible that Facebook is actually making it worse?
Well, it's not Facebook. I mean, Facebook is just a medium. It is the fact that we tend to overestimate how happy our friends are, how happy other people are, and underestimate the reality that there are negative events that affect their emotion and their experience.
But you say it's not Facebook, and I don't mean to pick on Facebook per se, but is social media more generally exacerbating this underlying long-standing psychological fact of life?
Well, the fact of life is we spend more time on social media. And the reality is when we're out and we're social, if you're at happy hour, let's say at a bar, people look happy, you don't know what's going on in their lives. And typically, we don't observe people when they're by themselves, which is when they may be more sad or depressed. So it's, not new that you look at people on vacation or with their families and go, oh, they have this great life. And then you say, mine is not so great. But that's not the point. The point is to not compare yourself to other people and look at what are real factors in your own life.
So how do you not compare? I mean, as the reason why we have these cliches like the grass is always greener is that cliches are often true. So how do you not do this?
By understanding the reality. In our own lives, most of us, unfortunately, have more negative thoughts or negative experiences that we have a point and we find a way to have the right perspective. And so looking at your own self and saying, if I have to do that, then they probably do too.
So taking solace in the fact that people are probably more miserable than we think they are.
Well, not just taking solace, but just pointing at your own life and finding happiness and finding what's right and being happy for other people, but using that opportunity, if it makes you feel sad, to say, what do I need to do to take a positive action and not get so caught up in what we think other people are doing, because the reality is if you're miserable, they probably are too.
So back to social media for a second. The point you seem to be making is that we need to realize that people are curating their lives on social media.
It's like the perfect story. I mean, when I tweet, I don't tweet, oh, I'm having a bad day. I write, oh, I'm at ABC, or, I just saw so-and-so. So the reality is we are able to create our own story with social media, which is great. But understand, it's just a story. And we're looking at other people's lives. Look at your own.
Right, so to realize that people are not putting up the bad and the boring on Twitter.
Because nobody wants to hear that. It's just like when somebody says, how are you? We say, oh, I'm great, when in reality we may be just having a terrible day. And so typically we don't find it acceptable to talk about our negative experiences, what's wrong, because we want people to see us as perfect, happy people. And no one's perfect or always happy.
Beyonce's close to perfect, just for the record.
She's lucky.
Dr. Janet Taylor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in, and it was a pleasure to meet you. Super interesting topic.
Thanks.